We start here in business this hour. The Department of Small Business Development is encouraging entrepreneurs to take full advantage of the Township and Rural Entrepreneurship Program aimed at creating platforms that provide infrastructure and regulatory support. The program offers entrepreneurs a one-stop shop business support service, business incubation, business skills, training, and credit guarantee, amongst a list of other services. Now, to give us insights on the program, I'm joined by the department's Deputy Minister, Jane Sithole. Thank you so much for making time for us this afternoon. Now, it's been a tough week for South Africans with the death of children suspected of being poisoned by food from spaza shops. Once again, highlighting a real need for intervention in the space. How does the Small Business Development Department respond to such issues?
Good afternoon, Ntokozo, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. Firstly, let me pass our condolences to those that have lost their loved ones. It is indeed a tragedy. I will tell you what the Department of Small Business Development is doing to reclaim that space. We've got specific programs that are aligned to make South Africans reclaim the space of township economy in general. And we've also got in there a program that focuses on spaza shops, which we call it a spaza shop support program. Spaza shops is a South African concept. And in this case, as you know, as you move in this space, you realize that, and South Africans know, most of us as South Africans, we have rented out our infrastructure or our houses or our bedrooms to foreign nationals to operate businesses in those buildings. Now, that is the first thing that as South Africans, we need to stand up and say, if I've got an infrastructure that I can lend to someone and get a rental monthly, I shouldn't be content with that. I should actually be content with owning that building, plus what is going on in that building. So when we say this needs all of us, that's what we mean. Because most of the time, you know, we're working in on the other side, and then on the other side, other things are happening. With our programs, of course, you have highlighted a number of things there. We take you by hand from the beginning until the end, as research has also shown that not everyone is an entrepreneur. And if you've got the will, to learn, the will to do it, the courage to actually enter that space, we will work with you to make sure that you meet the requirements. We will help you with your licensing. We'll help you with all the things that are required for you to run any form of business, not only spaza shops. We are in every business that you can find in the township, from clothing, retail, from saloons to car washes, to everything that you can think of. So what is the biggest thing that we are encouraging South Africans to do is we want to create more entrepreneurs. When we say igniting the spirit of entrepreneurship, that's what we mean. You know, because even when you go around, someone will tell you, you know, my father used to run a spaza shop. My grandfather used to run this. Well, but it's like, why is this not cascading down to our generation and further, so that, you know, we actually continue the legacy that has come with our forefathers that ran successful spaza shops. They ran successful businesses in the township. We don't all need to go into suburbs to actually be successful. And that is why the department has got a laser focus on township and rural development. It has also been proven by independent research that the informal sector, actually, or informal businesses, contribute almost 900 billion to our GDP. That is a significant amount. And it's also saying most of the jobs that are in our country should come from small businesses. So when we say we support you, we mean like we don't want you to remain a small business. We want to, you've spoken about incubation. When we incubate you, we want you to be successful. You start to employing others, and one day go commercial. We help them with access to markets. You know, we've got businesses and cooperatives that we've funded that are already selling their products in places like India. That is what we mean when we say grow. It doesn't mean that you must stay there and be called a small business forever. However, entering, we are making it easy as well for people to become entrepreneurs. And we've already started with that process. As you have seen, the president has signed our Small Business Amendment Act, where we are now establishing the Office of the Ombuds, where small businesses can go when they've got grievances where they are not happy, because there's so much red tape that is also strangling small businesses. Municipalities don't pay them after they do work. Government departments don't pay them, and even private sector. All of these things are hampering their growth, and hence the Office of the Ombuds is going to be focusing solely to assist small, medium, micro enterprises to have where they can go. Most of them can't even fight these legal battles. It's difficult for a small enterprise to take on a municipality, to take on a government department. Yes, and that is why we are making it easy for them. And also the fact that we are also establishing the one-stop agency. These are the things that are happening. It's not things that are going to happen. It's things that are happening in the 7th administration, because people say, I've been approved by CEDA, which is an agency of the department, a small enterprise development agency, but then CIFA deny me finance. How is that possible? How is it that when we want to enter, we must go to CEDA, go to CIFA, go there and get, at the end of the day, as someone that is even struggling to enter, it's impossible for me to even start. Hence, we've now established what we call a one-stop shop, a SETFA, which is now one agency where you will get all the services that you need and the support that we need. We're focusing a lot on training and mentorship, because that is very, very important in terms of people being successful. We're not only helping them to enter and be entrepreneurs, they need to be sustainable. And that is the only way, by the way, that we are going to grow our economy and deal with the issue of unemployment. So I think as South Africans, we really need to stand up and say, we are reclaiming the space of township and rural economy back. It's ours. Let's not give it away. Let's stop renting those infrastructure that belongs to us to people that doesn't have a visa for establishing that business. As you can see, this space, particularly of foreign nationals, it requires a number of departments, which processes have already started. But as I'm focusing on the small business development, a lot of people come in, they don't get visas to say, I'm going to be doing a business. But once they get into South Africa, then they start to do other things. So that has been established, and those processes will run. However, our plea to South Africans is that let's reclaim that space. It's our South Africans. And if we don't do it, we are not going to make a dent in that space.
Let me jump in there, Deputy Minister, because I've spoken to small business owners, the ones that you are speaking about, as well as property owners that would end up renting then, as you said, to, foreign entities coming in there. And while they do speak of all those programs that they are aware of, their argument is saying that it is terribly, terribly difficult for them to access any of those programs. So, even the property owners saying, we want to access those programs. We want to see South African entrepreneurs being the ones that we are, renting this property to. But it's just so difficult to get access to these programs and so on. So how much really will that one-stop shop then alleviate some of these issues that they're facing? Because some of those business owners that we talk to, they say it really seems that government and the Department of Small Business then just throws the ball back at them when it comes to having to resolve these issues.
At the end of the day, the very same issues that you are raising, it is also what we are finding on the ground. I call myself an activist because I really believe in hearing it from the people that are affected. On Monday, I was in Soweto. Yesterday, we were in Tzaneen, in Linyenye. If you're not on the ground to give people information firsthand, in the 7th administration, we said one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to be a responsive government. That doesn't mean that. That means that we cannot be ministers and deputy ministers that are in offices and the people on the ground are struggling to access us. We are going to be accessible so that we can resolve those issues hands-on. If we are not out there, people are not getting the information. People don't know where these services are. People don't know where to go. And that is why the people, if those that have been following our social media platforms will tell you, they are seeing us more on the ground than they've never seen us before, because it is a focus, it is a priority for us that these people that are saying, we've got this problem, yes, the office of the ombuds is there, but it's not going to be most probably some of the things doesn't even need to go there. They can be resolved before. And as you say, we've got a one-stop shop. But maybe some of the things doesn't need to go there. We can resolve them before they get there. And that is why we are availing. And when I say we are availing ourselves, I mean from our agencies to the minister, to myself, to everybody in the department. Our agencies are out there not educating people, but dispersing that information. Not everyone is on social media. If you go on our social media platforms now, like Facebook, you will see that now we are showcasing more of people that have been funded. Because people ask me as well, like, what are the kind of things that you fund? If I've got a car wash, if I'm sewing, like I'm sewing in my garage clothes, like I can bake, but I've never really professionalized it, you know. So while we are showcasing this on our social media platforms, those that have access can see that, I can also apply. And because not everyone is on social media, we are reaching out to rural areas where we will be able to also reach those people. We also said we are going to leave no one behind. And if those people in rural areas can't access the information, they are often finding themselves not knowing where to go. Nothing is as frustrating as not knowing even which door to knock on. And that is why I always say, you know, even when I do my presentations, I give my own number. Someone said to me, they've never had a minister or deputy minister that gives out her own number like that. And I respond to every query, particularly for that, because people do want to do something, but they don't know where to go. They don't know which door to knock on. They don't know who to talk to. I've been responding. They can tell you, I've been responding to those queries myself. My phone, I'm accessible to an extent that some people think, I don't know how you manage this, but it's doable. Let's just get out there. And also, every time I speak to someone and give them the information and do this, I always say, don't keep it to yourself as well. Spread it. Like even when we talk to people on the ground, as we were in Tzaneen yesterday in Linyenye, we visited a very young boy who has done, is actually now bigger than his spaza shop. And again, he was one of those people that was renting his property to a foreign national. Now he has turned it into a retail store. And also along those lines, as we talk about food poisoning, with the department, we also have places where you source your stock. So we don't just, as now, these days, people are even manufacturing their own food in their own garages. So that is why we help you with the health inspections. We make sure that you meet the requirements. We make sure that, you know, everything that we do is in line with South African laws, and particularly the laws of running such a business. So we don't just leave you. Yes. And as South Africans, really, as I say, our plea is that let's stand up and reclaim that space of township and rural economy, because it's ours.